I got into these old videos on YouTube of fighters training. And I got into this one video that I sent you about Rocky Marciano and how insane his training was. And it was 7 days a week. He would spar sometimes 30, 40 rounds in a day. He would run 10 miles in the morning and then 5 more miles at night. And then he would swim 2 miles in the lake. He would swim across the lake and then back. And then he would get up in the morning and do it all over again, and he never took days off.
No, and another thing, he was like focused on recovery and sleep.
Yep.
Like he would be in bed like at 9, I think I said, every night.
Yep.
And get his sleep in, but work so hard. And why do we love stories like that?
Because you know how hard it is to do.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's
impossible. I mean, it's possible, but it's impossible for most. It's like it requires a mind that is just fortified through will and discipline to this strange hardness that's just different than everybody else's.
Well, but why would, okay, so he retired at 49-0.
Yeah.
Heavyweight. Everybody knows him in fighting. Maybe not everybody in the world, obviously. He died a while ago. But
by the way, small heavyweight. We were talking about that too. I think in his prime he was 190 pounds. Or 189 pounds, something crazy. Like, what did Rocky Marciano weigh while he was fighting? I think he was 5'10", and he weighed like 189 pounds, which is insane.
Yeah.
Like, 188. That's so crazy, dude. So he weighed 12 pounds less than me. Think about that.
5'10 1/4.
He weighs 12. He's 2 inches taller than me and a little more, and then he weighs 12 pounds less.
Did he fight Joe Louis and Sonny Liston?
Yeah, he fought. No. He fought Joe Louis when Joe Louis was way past his prime and flatlined him. It was pretty brutal. It was a scary fight. That's so crazy that he was only 188 pounds and he was the heavyweight champion. Granted, this is a different world.
Yeah, different era.
Different
for sure.
era.
Yeah,
like,
there was no Tyson Fury and
there was no Mike Tyson either.
Right.
Like everybody talks
But still,
about Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano's great. Mike Tyson would have went through him like a fucking train through a flock of sheep.
Yeah.
It's a different world. Rocky Marciano, at his heaviest, he weighed 192.
Okay.
He fought 7 boxers who weighed more than 200 pounds, but people weren't that big back then.
Right.
Sonny Liston was. Sonny Liston was big.
Yeah, so he would have been 20 pounds bigger than Rocky Marciano, Sonny Liston.
Yes. But Mike Tyson wasn't that big when he was in his prime. When his prime, he was like 215, 220, you know, and 5'10 or 5'11 as well. He wasn't very big. And he was born in 69, did I see that right? No. I think that's when he died.
Oh, is that when he died? Okay. I was
Yeah.
going to say, he can't be younger than us.
No.
Okay.
He was a heavyweight champion in the 1950s.
All right, never mind.
See
I do
if you
feel
can
old, but it's not that old.
Find Rocky Marciano KO's Joe Louis. It was brutal because, you know, back then when you were 38 or whatever Joe Louis was when they fought, you were really 38. No nutrition. You know, also lifetime of fighting. Probably needed the money, which is why he took the fight. Yeah. It's not like the Joe Louis that knocked out Max Schmeling in the height of the war and was like an America's hero. This is Joe Louis when he's on his balding. He's got a big bald spot in the back. He's like, it's sad.
Yeah.
And Rocky Marciano just mauls him.
That's what's crazy about how did George Foreman reinvent himself when he was old?
The thing is, like, one thing that you did see in this fight was the technical brilliance of Joe Louis, especially early in the fight. Mm-hmm. Like, if they had fought in their prime, I think Louis would have fucked him up. That's my belief.
Mm-hmm. He's a lot bigger.
He was taller, but he also had incredible power. Mm. How old was? Well, we'll ask after we watch this video. But he was doing really well for a while. But the thing about Marciano was he was not the most talented, but he did not get fucking tired, and he hit like a truck. He hit like a truck, and he was just a fucking animal. He just plowed forward. He never ran out of gas.
No.
Like, this is not like a technically skilled boxing match. He would just maul guys. He would just bob and weave, and this is the end of it. At the end, Joe Louis goes through the ropes. It's sad, man. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
How
old was Joe Louis when he fought Rocky Marciano?
That's a sad
He looked
scene.
pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Up until, like, Rocky started catching him. But this is how a lot of Rocky's fights would go. Even his last fight, which was it against? was it against Archie Moore, I think? He got dropped in that fight and just got up and just eventually pounded him and beat him down and KO'd him.
Yeah.
But he was just so fucking tough. Like, what he would do to himself was nothing compared to whatever was going to happen inside that ring.
Right. So that was going to be my point. So he had all the success, retired, undefeated.
Pretty young, too.
People
37.
knew.
He was 30.
Julius was 37.
37. Okay, that's how old Poatan is right now. Okay,
Yeah.
that's how old Alex Pereira is right now.
Right.
That's crazy. So 37 back then was like, it was over.
Oh, yeah. So much older. But yeah, so when you look at Rocky's success, why even seeing that, and there's fighters out there, why wouldn't they emulate his style, his training, why if that's what you do and you want the same type of success, why are you letting somebody outwork you?
Yeah, it's not that simple. It's like, first of all, you're not as exposed to people like that unless
They didn't know?
you train with them. Yeah,
They
there's
didn't
no
know he was
YouTube
doing that?
videos.
Right.
There's no. You might hear things, but if you hear things like, I heard Rocky's training 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. He don't sleep. He only eats raw meat. You hear stories like that, and you're like,
That was
fuck
Mickey.
That, guy.
That was Rocky's
Yeah.
train.
Yeah. Well, but look, that you would hear exaggerations. You
Yeah.
always hear exaggerations that come out
But-
of fight gyms.
But I would want to believe those if I was a fighter and be like, because didn't Tyson used to say that? That's why I got up at 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning.
Yes. Well, Tyson did train like that.
Yeah.
You know who else trained like that forever? Marvin Hagler.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Floyd.
Marvin Hagler trained like a fucking warrior.
Right.
He used to train on the sand dunes in the Cape of Cape Cod in the middle of the winter. And he would just be running, screaming war.
Love that,
War. Just throwing punches. He would run in combat boots.
dude.
He was an
I love
animal.
that.
He was an animal, just Spartan. He would go to this Provincetown inn, no fucking phones. He would tell his wife and family, I'm gone. I don't exist. I'm gone. For 2 months, he would just vanish. And every day would be the same thing. And he would spar a lot. Hagler was sparring 100 rounds a week. So he was sparring 20 rounds a day for 5 days in a row.
So
And he would bring in fresh sparring partners, too. It's
Right.
not like one guy he's beaten up for 20 rounds. No, he would rotate 5
Yeah.
different sparring partners. So they would
Khabib-
all come in and do
didn't
4
Khabib
rounds
do
each.
that too, kind of?
Perhaps. I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly. Khabib had unbelievably grueling training sessions. And, that was one of the things that was so apparent, like with his endurance and their discipline was like second to none.